Chicago's top cop calls for greater consequences for gun crime offenders, first-timers, and repeat offenders.
Superintendent David Brown has spent a career in law enforcement, but bringing down Chicago's gun crimes may be his greatest challenge. To show us just what his cops are up against on a daily basis, Brown gave us an exclusive look at the confiscated weapons now sitting in CPD's gun vault.
Family saying that the kid was in the alley, right by the alley when they got shot.
70th and Damon, and a 3-year-old girl has been shot. It is the ugly reality that is Chicago in the summer of 2020. The escalation of gun violence permeating the streets of our city. At times, the innocents are too often in the crosshairs.
Here's another assault rifle. You can't take a few steps in the bin, another assault rifle. It's just bin after bin, shelf after shelf after shelf, assault rifle after assault rifle.
Superintendent David Brown offering WGN an exclusive inside look at CPD's gun vault. When he signed on to be the top cop, he knew Chicago had been struggling to stop the rising tide of gun crimes.
I knew that, but the sheer numbers are staggering.
But in his short time here, he has learned the number of illegal guns his officers have seized is enough to equip a third world country. To put it another way, Chicago is the nation's illegal gun capital, hands down. In 2019, 10,897 guns have been recovered, far more than LA's 6,969, and outpacing New York City as well. Superintendent Brown believes a big part of the problem is gun offenders are getting a slap on the wrist. From the first arrest with practically no consequences,
Gun offenders become empowered. They get emboldened.
To the repeat offenders he believes who don't spend enough time incarcerated just to get out and pick up where they left off, with even bloodier results.
Until we hold them accountable. What I mean by that, they need to stay in jail longer, and they need to have consequences for their action.
And an electronic monitoring program he believes is useless.
As you look at the electronic monitoring, the people who go in and who otherwise would be in jail, more and more are getting released. Several hundred 2 years ago, over 1,000 a year ago, over 3,000 this year on electronic monitoring. And some of those are violent offenders who either possess a gun, use a gun as part of their crime.
Only several days ago at a Monday morning press conference talking about a weekend of gun violence, Brown did not mince words, describing the killing of a 10-year-old Lena Nunez in her home with a bullet that came from outside, to the shooting death of 20-month-old Sincere Gaston, hit by gunfire while riding in the car with his mom.
These evil bastards.
Brown encourages law-abiding citizens to come forward and work with police as a team. Otherwise, improving things will be nearly impossible. He recognizes some people are already doing that, but he says more need to do the same.
If we can't get outraged over a one-year-old being shot and killed as a result of gun violence, what is going to move the needle?
Superintendent Brown also believes so much of the street violence begins with the gangs, guns, and the drug trade. That said, he recognizes the root causes of much of this, but he says he has to deal with the here and now. An additional 1,200 officers will be deployed for the 4th of July weekend. I asked him, why did you take this job?
I was going to ask you that. What was his reaction?
He says he believes what police can do and that he thinks he is the person that can help bring all of this down.
He has a lot ahead of him, that's for sure.
Yes, he does.
All right, Patrick, thanks.